Picture a ship so massive it dwarfed every vessel on the Atlantic, built for one purpose only, to sail once, then be torn apart and sold for scrap. This is the story of the disposable ship. Throughout history, ships have been treasured possessions, vessels that sailed the seas for decades. But in the early 1800s, a radical idea emerged that would challenge everything mariners thought they knew about shipbuilding. What if you could build a ship designed to die? For centuries, disposable vessels existed on rivers across the world. On the Danube, the Rhine, and the Mississippi. Simple flatboats carried cargo downstream, only to be broken up at journey's end. In 400 BC, Herodotus described boats sailing from Armenia to Babylon. Made of willow frames covered in animal hides, filled with reeds and wine casks. Two men would steer these round, shield-like vessels downstream. Once they reached Babylon and sold their cargo, they'd dismantle the frames, load the hides onto donkeys, and walk back upstream to build new boats. It was impossible to sail against the fierce current, so why bother trying? In Russia, enormous timber rafts called belyanas floated down the Volga and Vetluga rivers from the 16th to the 20th centuries. Some stretched over 120 meters long and carried 12,000 tons of timber. In Pennsylvania, farmer Jacob Yoder built the first American flatboat in 1781, a simple box that anyone could construct with basic tools. Farmers would load these vessels with potatoes, tobacco, cotton, whiskey, grain, and livestock, float to New Orleans, sell everything, including the boat itself, and return home. Even Abraham Lincoln worked as a flatboatman in 1828 and 1831. But these river vessels were nothing compared to what was coming. In the 1820s, Britain faced a crisis. The mighty empire depended on timber for its naval fleet, but faced crushing taxes of up to 275% on imported wood from North America. The structural timbers of the ships themselves, however, were tax-exempt. Meanwhile, return voyages from England carried only 1/10 the cargo of the outbound journey, forcing ships to fill their holds with worthless ballast stones just to stay balanced. Enter Charles Wood of Port Glasgow, a shipbuilder who saw opportunity in this madness. Wood's plan was audacious. Build a ship so large it could carry 10 times the timber of a normal vessel, pack it with cargo, sail it across the Atlantic, then tear the entire thing apart and sell every beam. The ship itself was the cargo. Two problems solved in one brilliant, outrageous solution. On July 28, 1824, the Columbus slid down the slipway at Anse du Fort near Quebec. She was a monster, 308 feet long, 52 feet wide, 30 feet high, weighing 3,700 tons with cargo capacity for 7,500 tons. Flat-bottomed, straight-sided, barely elegant, but absolutely enormous. This was no graceful clipper ship. This was a floating timber warehouse. On September 6, Columbus departed with 10,000 tons of timber. Almost immediately, disaster struck. Her uncaulked seams opened up, and water poured in. For 7 weeks, the crew pumped around the clock. By the time she reached the English Channel, 12 feet of water sloshed in her hold, but she made it. Columbus arrived at Blackwall, London, to astonished crowds. The venture was a spectacular success worth £50,000. Then greed took over. Against Charles Wood's advice, the owners decided to send Columbus back for another load. On May 17, 1825, in the middle of the English Channel, the inevitable happened. Columbus sank as a total loss. But Wood wasn't finished. In June 1825, he launched an even larger ship, the Baron of Renfrew, at 304 feet long, 61 feet wide, and 5,295 tons. She was one of the largest wooden sailing vessels ever built. The launch itself nearly ended in disaster when the ship caught fire sliding down the slip. On August 23, 1825, Baron of Renfrew departed Quebec with Captain Matthew Walker, a crew of 25 men, and 9,000 tons of timber. Like her predecessor, she leaked from the start. Water poured in faster than the crew could pump. By October 21, when she reached the English Channel, the ship was waterlogged and barely afloat. The next day, already under tow by 2 tugboats with a pilot aboard, Baron of Renfrew grounded on the treacherous Goodwin Sands at Long Sound Head. The captain abandoned ship, leaving salvage to the tugs. The massive vessel broke into 3 pieces. Ocean currents carried the wreckage to the beaches of Calais on October 24. Remarkably, the timber was salvaged. Technically, the mission succeeded. But the age of disposable ships was over as quickly as it began. By 1825, Britain's timber market had shifted back toward the Baltic coast. The acceptance of free trade principles in 1840 and the repeal of the Navigation Act in 1849 eliminated the tax advantages that made disposable ships profitable. Both Columbus and Baron of Renfrew had been described as rafts in their time. Curiosities that attracted attention, but never practical solutions. These colossal vessels represented the extreme edge of maritime economics, where pure profit motive created ships designed to self-destruct. They were never truly meant to be ships at all, just enormous wooden containers for a one-way journey. 2 attempts, 2 failures. One brief, spectacular chapter in the history of the seas. The disposable ship remains one of history's most audacious maritime experiments. A reminder that sometimes the boldest ideas are the ones that sail once and sink into legend. If you want more incredible stories from maritime history, subscribe for daily feature videos.